the singing of the national anthem.
The following is a presentation of GRS-TV. The following is a presentation of GRS-TV.
We so fly, name in the bright lights, looking like a star shot. We set the bar high, on top 'cause we so fly, name in the bright lights, looking like a star shot. We set the bar high.
Wiley East, the only team that has clinched a playoff spot, and tonight the North Garland Raiders and Naaman Forest Rangers do battle to secure one of the three remaining playoff positions. From Williams Stadium, we are live tonight. Scott Garner alongside Bobby George. Just 2 weeks remaining in the regular season, and this North Garland team not only needs to win this ball game, they really want to win this game. They would love to get to the playoffs. The only way to do it is to win tonight and next week. They're coming off a loss to the #1 team in the district, and unfortunately last week they also lost their quarterback, God's Power Nawahi, to a foot injury. He's questionable for tonight.
Yeah, in fact, last week they were winning at halftime, never scored again after halftime, and Wiley East was able to come back and win the game. And now, you know, North Garland is going to have a battle up front. They're going to have to really rely on Jaden Davis. He already averages 165 yards per game, 6 touchdowns, 6.2 yards per carry, and they're going to have to rely on him really big tonight.
They are, and they avoid a deep return with a little pooch kick. Naaman Forest will get good field position out of it. Ezra Rocha will be taken down at around the 35-yard line. So Naaman Forest has the football. They need a win tonight. They want to keep hold of that second place position. A loss for the Rangers, and they become a little vulnerable to missing the playoffs. And D'Angelo Perales, number 7, we see him right there in the middle of the screen. A sophomore quarterback has had a tremendous season. 1,526 yards. He's completed 65% of his passes, 15 touchdowns against just 4 interceptions.
Yeah, he's been really rocking and rolling since he's just a sophomore. The longer the season has progressed, the better he has gotten, and he's really starting to trust his receivers, trust his linemen, and this is the time when you start to really home in on what you do good on offense, and they've really started to figure it out.
Naaman really likes to spread it out, and they will hit Turner on the first play of the game. Just a little quick pass on a screen. A flag comes in. They'll pick up 17 on this to Dylan Turner. His 22nd catch of the year. Will check on the penalty flag.
So they get a personal foul there with a little face mask, going to add another 15 yards to it.
And this is something that obviously North Garland wants to avoid.
Oh, absolutely, right? You get a big run to Turner right off the bat, and then all of a sudden you get added on another 15 yards. That becomes a 30-yard play.
Jablin Soublé, guy that has done a great job of mentoring a lot of the defensive backs, making that tackle. But his first down and 10, passing the flat overthrown to Flores. Those are the 3 big targets out of the perimeter. Turner, Denton, and Flores. They want to get those guys involved early.
Well, that one would have been open, and he would have had some running room to go, but Flores just let it go a little too early, a little too fast, a little too high, and all of a sudden you're trying to pick the ball up off the ground, and it's over for the play. So they had a great opportunity there, and they lost it.
And D'Angelo Perales, a guy that's very coachable, keeps his poise. He's grown up in a football house. Hey, his dad's the head football coach. Jesse Perales, at second down, they'll keep it on the ground and go to Isaiah Cunning for the first time in this ball game. Beg your pardon, not Cunning that time. Yeah, it was Isaiah Cunning. 174th carry of the year.
Yeah, he's just been their powerhouse. He's averages about 5.7 yards, 8 touchdowns, 125 yards per game. I mean, he is the workhorse there. He's a senior, 215 pounds.
And a converted linebacker slash defensive end. Really athletic. Third down, and this is the down that the Raiders need to come up big on, because this will get them off the field. But, oh, and there's a big hit right at the sticks. I'm not sure if they're going to give him the spot or not, but that is an absolute pop right there on Flores.
Yeah, you see number 11 right there. Omar Lopez comes from that safety spot. I thought he was going to pick it up pretty easy. He's turning up. Boom. He just met him. Oh, that's number 23.
Yeah, that's Brian Nochu. Nochu, the sophomore, who has had a great season as a sophomore. And a really good last 2 weeks. Give him enough for the first down. They'll give it back to Isaiah Cunning. Again, he averages close to 6 yards per tote. Not really a huge home run hitter. His long run of the year, 44 yards, but he's so consistent.
Yeah, when you're getting 6 yards a carry, you just keep feeding it to him. And, you know, Perales, he has really come a long way. And he's starting to see things in slow motion. And his receivers are starting to get open, and he's putting them right in their breadbasket. And when you can start spreading it around and then you give it to Isaiah Cunning, you got something going.
But a draw play on 2nd down and 7 as they try to toughen up right in the middle. Nice play by Cleaver Hernandez, that junior defensive tackle. Really good job against the run.
Yeah, see it happen right there. He just stops it.
So another 3rd down. They've already converted one of those. It was a 3rd down and 7 a moment ago. This is 3rd down and 5 for the Rangers. Well, they bring those safeties down to the box. Like somebody might have moved early. Don't see a flag. Perales in trouble trying to hit the edge and tracked down from behind. He will be run out of bounds along the near side by Joseph Rosales and company.
Yeah,
only got one.
Total breakdown right there. There's a blitz off the left side, and then look at the wall of white jerseys coming after him, and he does the smart choice and just runs out of bounds there. And probably a good choice right there as well by North Garland. They didn't go ahead and pop him as he runs out of bounds and get a personal foul. A lot of times that happens.
Well, it's so unusual this day and age to see the place kicker come out. But that's what we've got here. Got a flag on a 35-yard attempt, and he pushed that thing to the right. Would not have gone.
And I think they're going to get a first down out of this. If that's offsides on the defense, it's 4th and 5. That's going to be enough to move the chains.
Well, it's just so hard to coach everything.
Offsides.
Our indication from Royland Lee out of the Dallas chapter. That will be a first down, I do believe. We'll check out the spot.
If not, it's going to be so close that.
Yeah, it will be a first down. Well, they've sort of misspotted it. Well, the umpire having a hard time that time.
Yeah, they haven't moved the chains either, so they still have it as 4th and inches. And I think if your head coach over here, Coach Perales, you're going to have them look at that and see if that's good enough for a first down.
Yeah.
Chain it up, see something.
Can't imagine they wouldn't go for it here. The officials will huddle up. It was a disaster trying to spot the ball after that penalty. They're going to go ahead and give them the first down on it. Tell you what.
Hey, they got together like they were at Slotsky's or something.
They did.
And talked over dinner and moved the chains.
You know, if I'm Coach Rucker, who's in his first season for North Garland, I may have a little something to say about that. It's going to be a first down, though, for the Rangers. They've converted. And that's unfortunate because they had missed that. They missed that field goal. There's a missed tackle on Isaiah Cunning. Keeps his footing. He's into the end zone. A touchdown for Cunning, 13 yards.
Well, that's just brute force running right there. He gets wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage. Boom, that's a big heads-on tackle. He runs right through it. They just couldn't pull him down, and I don't know if they had the effort to pull him down.
Isaiah Cunning putting it in the end zone. And that averages 126 yards per game. Good snap. The point after. David Jalot makes it 7-0. We'll take a break and continue. Naaman Forest scores on their first possession of the game on GRS TV. .908 to go here in this first quarter as we see Isaiah Cunning punching it into the end zone from 13 yards out. So they were able to convert on a 3rd down and 7 to get a first down. Couldn't on 3rd and 5, but the penalty on that 4th down and 5 situation where they missed the 35-yard field goal gave them new life, and they made the Raiders pay.
Yeah, it was a 0 point, or now it's 7, just because you jumped off sides on the edge, and boy, that's a tough one.
You know, in high school ball, you don't have to do a whole lot. You're not really looking for a block. They kick field goals so infrequently, you almost don't even need to do that. This is Soublé to the middle across the 30, and he gets upended a little bit shy of the 35-yard line. So the Raiders will come in now, and they will have the football for the first time. They lose to Wiley East last week, 47-26. And, you know, Coach Rucker really felt as though it was the toughest anybody had played them all year as it related to district competition. Raiders had the lead on the district champs.
Wow, at halftime.
Yes.
And they just could not score another time after their big dog got hurt and got God's power Nawahi. And now we're going to get to see who's going to come out here and play quarterback. Last week it was Cameron Shaw that came in and relieved him.
That's who comes out here, the junior, 5'10", 210. He took every warm-up snap tonight. And right before the snap, North Garland has to burn a timeout.
Ouch.
Odd timeout. But that'll give us a chance to talk about Cameron Shaw just a bit. He's kind of a jack of all trades. He's a junior, mostly a wide receiver. He's made 2 catches, a touchdown grab. He's only thrown the ball 5 times this year as a quarterback and had to come on because God's power last week against Wiley got hurt, a little ligament in the top of his foot, and just could not cut when he made runs. And, you know, that's where God's power Nawahi makes his money. He runs the football averaging 7 yards per carry. They won't have that tonight.
Yeah, God's power put 15 touchdowns up on the ground and 9 touchdowns in the air. He is their offense, and when you take him out of it, it's going to be very hard to replace. That's why they've got to rely on Jaden Davis. He's just going to have to carry the ball a lot to get
all
today.
Jaden Davis did last week against Wiley East was carry it, and over 200 yards. It's a play action pass, and they throw it too tall on a slant route right over the middle, and that was intended for Mateo Howard, who was trying to make his 17th grab of the year.
Well, it's just interesting right there that right off the bat, the very first play of the game for Shaw, they go ahead and toss it. I thought they might get him warmed up, let him hand the ball off, let him even run it.
Let's drop him back and throw it.
Yeah, how about that? A slant over the middle.
Right over the middle. You know, in basketball, they say the hardest free throw that makes that first one. We'll get that first incompletion out of the way, right off the top.
There, let him play, right?
They're in a pistol here. Jaden Davis behind him. It's a pitch. They just put this in a couple of weeks ago. Kind of a toss sweep, student body right. And he gets about 5 yards to the 40. They didn't let him bounce, but it might have been good that he didn't.
He's a big boy.
You know, they say if they had 10 of this guy, 10 Jaden Davises, they would run away with the district title. They love Jaden Davis. He says
210 pounds. I mean, he's a big one, and he's fast.
212 yards. They gave it to him 31 times last week.
I think they're going to have to do it again tonight. They're going to have to give it to him a lot.
3rd and 5. North Garland would love to convert here. And the ball comes out. Look out. It's a scoop. Will it be a score? Somehow, Arnold Irvin was able to avoid the man at the 30, and he takes it the distance for a scoop and score. 32-yard touchdown.
Wow. How about that? The first run that Shaw does, it comes out there. It looks like big deal. Knocks it out of his arms right there. Just punched it out. Zion's able to pick it up, scoop and run, and boy, that's a game changer.
What a play right there for Naaman. They make it a 2-score game, 13-zip on the scoop and score. David Jalot for the point after. Well, we haven't played 4 minutes. It's a 2-score game. Pressure, and they got it. This ball might be scooped. We're doing a lot of scooping here. And he gets tackled at around the 33-yard line, so it's no good. But the forced fumble by, you mentioned it, Marcus Deal, and picked up by Arnold Irvin.
Boom, right there. You see Deal coming off the edge. Deal 6'6", 305 pounds. He's just able to stick his arm in there and punch it out.
13-0 in favor of Naaman, and he's a big deal. That Marcus Deal, 295 pounds. And, you know, he really moves like he's about 250, 255. You see how he can dip and rip. He's got a terrific get-off.
Yeah, super fast. He's had 5 sacks, 31 tackles coming into the game. Just a tremendous athlete right there. And, you know, his brother was big and strong, too.
Oh, yeah.
He graduated, went on to play a little Saturday football.
Devin Deal. And Marcus, they say, is even better. And you say, why is Marcus such a big deal? Well, hey, when teams like Georgia and Texas and, maybe a little backdoor here by TCU looking at him. TCU, OU, Arkansas, USC, Stanford. It sound like this guy can play?
Hey, man, when you have that size, that natural size, and then you can also play like he does, yeah, it doesn't surprise me that he will be playing on Saturdays.
Jarvis Green on the return, close to the 35-yard line. So we've already seen a touchdown drive by Naaman and a turnover by North Garland. That was one of the things that they wanted to avoid coming in. You just cannot turn the ball over when you don't have your starting quarterback in there.
Yeah, you basically need to keep the ball out of Naaman Forest's hands, and the best way to do that is to go ahead, get it to Jaden Davis, let him run for 4 or 5 yards, 6 yards a carry, and the time of possession is your friend. You got to keep the ball out of Naaman Forest's hands. That's the basic it. You just have to keep the ball out of their hands, and turnovers are a big thing. You can't do it.
Just cannot do it. So for the second time in a row, here comes Cameron Shaw, who they have defined as a Swiss Army knife type player. They go with a tight end here on this possession, and they're just going to go ahead and keep it here. This is around the right side, and Mateo Howard on a wildcat took the snap and ran for almost 7 or 8.
He's like, get in front of me. I need you to block, and it worked out for him right there. Pick up 7.
We'll see what they do here as, again, Cameron Shaw was supposed to be a QB, and he's back in there now. Cameron Shaw at that quarterback position. They'll go with a tight end and an H-back. This is old school football here. That's what these two teams expected. This is right off the left tackle position for Cameron Shaw. It's one of the things they love about him. They know that he can't quite throw as well as God's power, but he sees holes and he can get upfield, and they don't have to change a lot with their offense.
Well, no, look, he's 5'10", 210. He is basically a running back size. Go ahead and just put him in there, snap it to him, and just run it. Don't pretend. Don't pretend you're doing something that you're not, man. Just get out there and run the ball. That's what they're going to have to do here.
And what's unusual is that he's a wide receiver by nature, and he knows how to get upfield and get vertical as they go right back to Jaden Davis. This is what they want to do. This is the 1-2 punch that they're looking for tonight. Another 9 for Davis.
These big offensive linemen, they're just moving the pile. They love to run the ball. They lead, like Jaden Davis is 6th in the area in rushing. They love to run, and this big offensive line loves to power block. And you get those guys going, it's hard to stop them. They go downhill.
Those 6 yards per carry takes a lot of pressure off your quarterback. This is 2nd and short. He doesn't get much, but didn't need it. They'll move the sticks for the 3rd time on the drive.
Big Marcus Dill on the tackle, but just a little short. They were able to pick up that 2 yards, pick up that 1st down.
Well, seeing Marcus Deal, you mentioned his brother. He is an absolute load. NFL potential. I think he absolutely, if he continues to work like he's been working, he could make it all the way to Sunday. 5th play of the drive, they'll pitch it here to Mateo Howard. Slowed up and then got hammered up high. He took an absolute shot. Picked up 4.
Looks like we got someone injured right here. One of those big offensive linemen.
Gives us a chance to take a break. Well, let's go ahead and keep it here. Boy, that's Jaden Davis that lowers his shoulder. And as soon as he did, Deshaun Bird, the nose guard, hammered him. Bird came in with 23 stops. 13-0 in favor of the Rangers on GRS TV.
We are all connected to something bigger than ourselves. Change one thing, change everything. The things we do today have an extraordinary impact on a child's future. A better child, a better world. GISD has a ripple effect on our community. Every lesson can positively affect our future leaders. We are Garland ISD, impacting lives, changing futures. It's what we call the GISD effect.
£290 senior left tackle, 3-year starter. A guy that has done a really good job. Torrance Wright, Coach Wright's got to be a little bit disappointed to see that. He's done such a great job with his North Garland offensive line. Right now it's 2nd down and 6 after that 4-yard carry just a moment ago, and they'll give it back to Jaden Davis. 4th carry of the game for Davis. He's inching closer to the 20-yard mark, and I think he's got it, and he'll move the sticks again down to the 30.
I mean, this is what they do the best, and I like that. You know, before with God's power and Nawahi, they wanted to try to trick it up. They want to step back and act like they're going to throw, and then he would run, or maybe he would just take off running. But this offense here, they know what they want to do. They're going to run it, and they're just in power formation.
And now all 7 plays of the drive have been on the ground. Jaden Davis between the tackles again. Nothing fancy, picks up 2. Again, we see Marcus Deal getting a piece of it.
Barnes and Green for the defense.
But you're right, this is what they do in a critical drive.
Gain of 2.
They have that pulling guard coming from left to right, and he becomes a lead blocker for him. And now they can use Shaw as also a runner because he is a big 210-pound runner.
You see that the Rangers dropping a safety down into the box here, and they'll challenge him to throw, and they do. Find their man, first completion of the game. And apparently he had a knee on the ground as they hit Javius Green for the first time tonight. His 11th catch of the year, and they'll pick up 8.
Wow, just when you think they're just going to keep running it, they go ahead and toss it out there. And just to make you honest, you have to keep that defense honest and don't have to do anything fancy. just make sure that everybody's not creeping in on the run.
Remember, Cameron Shaw did throw it 5 times last week. He can throw it. They just don't like to make him throw the football. Jaden Davis, again, this time getting stacked up as you see some linebackers and safeties cheating down a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage. This is a lengthy drive. They hope that it eventuates into a score because they need to stay in the game. They fall 3 or 4 scores down. It may be tough. And this is a must-win game for the Raiders.
Yeah, they have to win it because if not, they're going to be out of the playoffs. They are 2-4. You lose this one, 2-5. I don't think you're going to make it.
Here's Shaw going to go to the air on the slant in traffic through the hands of Mateo Howard, who they try to target for the second time on that backside slant.
Yeah, you saw Arnold Irwin out there again on the defensive side over there. Watch this. He was just all over him, not allowing him to get free up in the middle. That's the second big play we've seen from him. Big touchdown earlier on the scoop and run. And then right there, a nice pass defense.
And that interception has some consequences here because it's 3rd down and 9. And all of a sudden it puts them behind the chains. You see Davis lining up in a pistol. They don't do this a whole lot. They'll run option out of it. And a hole here for Shaw. Shaw getting close to the 15. This will put them in a situation where they may have to make a decision here as they run for 4.
Well, that was a big play by Bird right there. Deshaun Bird, second leading tackler on the team. He's only a sophomore, but watch this speed and close out. Boom, right there from that linebacker spot. He's big, strong, and he can move it.
4th down 5 for North Garland.
12th play of the drive is a 4th and 5. And a whistle. And Naaman takes a timeout. How about that? Naaman Forest burns the first of 3 available. And we'll see what North Garland has here. Again, they've snapped it 12 times on the drive. And they have attempted just 2 passes. So they've run it 10 times. They're in a tough 4th down and 5 here.
If they would have kept running, though, I really truly believe they wouldn't be in a 4th and long. I think they would have already picked up a 1st down. They go ahead and start throwing it. They get fancy with it. All of a sudden, you're behind in the chains.
They are, you know, in this North Garland team, again, they've got a win tonight. They ended up losing 2 in a row for the first time after alternating wins and losses to begin the season. Did that 7 weeks in a row. So they are coming off of back-to-back losses against 2 tough teams, Rowlett and Wiley East. But they're proud that they played Wiley East about as tough as anybody. They had the lead at halftime, then they had the quarterback, God's power, and while he got hurt. And here they are, 4th down and 5. They're going to pitch it, try to get it to the edge in a hurry. But the Rangers are there. 3 guys set the edge. I mean, immediately on Jaden Davis. Davion Bridges was the first to get there, the defensive end.
Turnover
Yeah,
on
this is a
down.
nice play. It just, the lineman got caught up trying to pull and was not able to get out there. And when that happens, boy, they just swarm in green. They just didn't allow it to happen.
And, you know, they tossed that thing, and it took them a while to get to that corner. Turnover on downs. Naaman takes it back over from their own 15-yard line. 3:02 to go.
I mean, that was a real good drive.
It was a great drive.
Just stalled at the wrong time.
It did, and the interception really hurt him as we see Perales drop back to pass. Going to go deep to try to loosen up that defense. Single coverage, and it goes incomplete as they try to hit Dylan Turner for the second time.
I think, you know, Perales will learn this. You know, when there's no safety over the top, sometimes you can just kind of throw it out there to the middle of the field. Don't throw it on the other side of him. Throw it to the middle and let him run and get it.
Not a penalty.
Holding on the defense.
One absolute killer, as Roland Lee gives us the indication. An absolute killer penalty, because that would have put Naaman behind the sticks a little bit. Defensive hold. And again, Naaman, an emotional night tonight, without question. 13-0 game inside of 3 minutes. An emotional game because he's got family ties does Coach Perales. They'll draw to the short side of the field. Not a lot right there. Omar Lopez, a backup Mike linebacker, ends up dropping the ball carrier for a gain of 6. Elijah Sayway. You see Coach Perales there. Jesse Perales, who's in his 4th year, 19th as a head coach. He comes over from El Paso, and his sons play for him. Justice Perales is the center. He's a 6'3", 285-pound center.
And he's snapping it to the quarterback, which is his other son.
Yes, son to son here. And they flip it out into the flat to Flores, who's got a first down, getting to the edge, and picks up a quick 9 yards with Barrett slinging him down the corner.
That's what they tried to do earlier to this game. They just have him come in motion, just let him drop out there. Flores, a big guy, 190 pounds, 5'11", great hands, good blocker. Just get him out there on the side and let him pick up a little bit.
1st and 10 and a draw play. Boy, a lot linebackers locked up on blocks. And there he goes, inside the 20 to the 10, and he is gone. Knocked out, maybe I caught him at the 1. Jalen Sublé ends up getting Elijah Sayway, who's a senior running back.
Well, that was just a tricky play. You know, you're looking in there, you're looking for Isaiah Cunning. He's not there. All of a sudden, Elijah is just off to the races, straight up the middle. Never got touched.
Marked him out of bounds at the 1, had the pylon, and he'll come out of the ball game. Well, he doesn't get a lot of carries. Ivan Garcia, sophomore, typically the backup running back. Isaiah Cunning comes back in. That was a big carry. Big explosive play, and they've had a ton of them tonight already. Rangers will call a timeout here and talk about it. Gives us a chance to take a break. 13-0 in favor of Naaman Forest on GRS TV. We're back to Williams Stadium tonight. Scott Garner, Bobby George, Naaman Forest on just their 2nd official possession, trying to score for the 3rd time. They ended up scoring on a scoop and score fumble that went 32 yards with Arnold Irvin picking it up with Marcus Deal forcing that fumble. Now they're on the lip of the cup here at the 1-yard line. They'll run a fly sweep and a gang tackle at around the 1-yard line, but boy, he kept fighting and kept fighting. Omar Lopez again making the stop, but they ended up handing it to Marcus Davis.
Just a little sweep right there, but the penetration from North Garland right up the middle made Davis have to hop out a little bit, and that's what destroyed the play. It just didn't work. Once that penetration came straight up the middle, the whole play was off.
2nd and goal from the 1. Misdirection. They'll flip it out of the flat, and a touchdown to Jason Flores, his 9th touchdown grab of the year.
Yeah, I could almost call that play from here. He goes in motion to the left, from left to right, and then just puts the brakes on and goes back the other direction. Little RPO and toss it out to him, and that's just wide open for the touchdown.
Well, this drive highlighted by the Sayway 59-yard tote down to the 1-yard line. They're going to go for 2 to try to get that point back that they missed earlier. They'll roll it. A little mesh route wide open. The 2-point conversion is good. They flipped it to Ivan Garcia.
2-point conversion is good. Garcia with the reception. Flag
So Naaman Forest appearing to take a 21-point lead. We've got a flag on the play.
Well, Naaman just that big play, that big all the way down to the 2, it just makes it easy for you. And that's what North Garland is going to have to stop. They've given them 2 plays, you know, the fumble for the touchdown.
Yep.
And then this big play here that gets you all the way down to the 2.
I thought the fumble just set the tone. It's just been a big time uphill climb for the Raiders. This will be the 3rd time that we will have seen David Jalot come out, 5'8" junior. This is from 30 yards away. This is like an NFL PAT here. He's got enough on it.
Oh, no.
But he pulled it.
And it hits the upright and bounces straight down.
1:09 to play in the first quarter. Naaman Forest with a 19-0 lead on GRS TV.
The Garland ISD Education Foundation provides resources to support and enrich education for all students in the Garland Independent School District. Every dollar donated helps fund innovative teaching and learning initiatives. Choose today to impact a better tomorrow. For more information and to learn how you can give, visit gisdedfoundation.org.
It's about as good a start as you could hope if you are a Naaman Forest fan. They have come out and they have been workmanlike. It has been all business on the defensive end. They ended up scoring the touchdown in their opening drive. 8-play drive capped off by a 13-yard touchdown run. Isaiah Cunning, which capped a 65-yard drive. Then they forced the fumble, scoop it, and score it. They took a 2-score lead, and just a moment ago, the 1-yard touchdown pass to Flores. This is short, and this is Mateo Howard. Gets absolutely driven at the 32-yard line, and they are not finished. Boy, they are coming at him tonight, gang tackling. You see Josh McGowan at the end there.
Yeah, when you go up 19-0, all of a sudden you have a whole lot of momentum. And everybody is just having fun and going after you, and then the other team's just not, you know. And so, boom, you take a hit like that, and all of a sudden you're walking backwards instead of forwards, and they're trying to strip the ball from you. All kinds of bad things can happen.
I think that was about as high a pad level as you'll see out of a guy. He was asking to take one right in the ribs.
Woo. They're going to reward him and put him right back out there and let him play a little bit of linebacker.
Hey, you got that kind of juice, we got to get you out there.
Absolutely.
Here comes Cameron Shaw and company back out. They have some work to do, down 19-0. And we've only played 11 minutes here. Just a little pop pass over the middle, and they find their man, Jonathan Dang. That's his first catch of the year, believe it or not. Little pop pass to the tight end.
Nice little safe pass, and now we've seen him. You know, they're letting him get out there and toss it a little bit.
Yeah. It's almost as if they're preparing him for, I don't know, maybe the future. Or they're still in a playoff chase here, but they have to win tonight. And it will take a monumental comeback here for Cameron Shaw, who's playing for God's Power at Nawahi. And the teeth of that Naaman defense is right in the middle. You like the fight shown by Jaden Davis. And these Raider ball carriers, he ran right into Deshaun Bird.
And Barnes in on the stop for the defense.
Big time. That defensive front four right there, that is a big group of guys.
You know, they've got Key and Bird coming back. Marcus and Devion Bridges will be graduating, but they still have a good core. That concludes the first 12 minutes. Naaman Forest owning the first period. 3 scores to love here. 19-0 Rangers on GRS TV. all Rangers all the time. In the first quarter, they score 3 touchdowns, 1 on defense, and Naaman Forest trying to hold on to that second slot in 9-6A, hoping to come up with a victory tonight against a North Garland team playing without its quarterback and having lost 2 in a row for the first time all year. Well, flip ends, and Cameron Shaw, who's having to run the show tonight for an injured God's Power Nawahi, will drop back to pass for just the 3rd time of the game. A lot of cushion for Green, who makes a second catch, and he takes 2 or 3 hard hits, but he has been pesky tonight. Hard to bring down, but they'll pick up 13.
Wow, it's really surprising how much they're throwing with Shaw, but that was a beautiful pass. Look at this little zip on the ball, put it right on the money. Javius Green catches it, takes upfield, gets him a first down there. That's really nice play.
Saw Nathaniel Prague, first guy there. Number 9 for Naaman, emotional leader for this team. Maybe the fastest kid on this team. But they are throwing it a little bit more than we expected, because this North Garland team, they averaged 278 yards per game on the ground. Just 145 through the air. That's 145 with their regular quarterback. I had 2 passes in a row. We see Shaw step up and takes off and took it right in the rib cage. What a hit in the middle there.
Hey, that's
it did not take long. That was Josh McGowan, who again has been fired up tonight.
Wow. Look out. This guy's coming to play. Shaw thought he was open, but boy, he's happy. He's having fun out there.
Who's got more energy than that guy?
Woo.
He's been making plays on special teams.
Yeah, I think if you hadn't been playing him all year, you've missed something.
Shaw looks it over. It's a quarterback draw.
Oh, my goodness.
What happened? Where did he go? And it doesn't get anything. I mean, right into the teeth of that. The trap door. Somebody hit the button.
Yeah, I think big number 34 had it again.
Thompson,
boom.
Deal for the defense. 3rd down 4.
3rd and 4. If Shaw can walk. And I tell you, this defense, look at that front 6.
I mean, you know, Ivan Thompson,
yes.
Sean Bird, McNeil, Deal up there. Yeah, I mean, they are just big.
They'll roll the pocket here on an option. Late pitch. This is Howard, and he got rolled. Needed 3, only got 1, and on 4th and 2, probably going to maybe almost a long 3 here. Probably going to keep the offense out, I would think.
I mean, I think you have to, right? This was an easy play if Ivan Garcia hadn't made a huge play from that safety position. But, boy, I tell you, I think at this point right here, you're at the 33. You got to just keep your offense out there. I mean, you're already down 19-0.
That's as fast as you'll see a guy run the alley. Garcia's a running back. He looked like it there.
He did. He's fast.
4th and a little more than 2.5. RPO, a break of a tackle, and Howard fights his way to move the sticks. He broke a tackle. Nathaniel Prague came down from his safety spot to get him.
Lawson and Thompson in on the stop for the defense.
Well, you can see it, man. They just really did a good job on that offensive line to create that little gap. They didn't need much.
Great defenses get at least 9 guys within 5 yards of the ball 90% of the time, and you see it tonight with the Rangers.
You are right, but I tell you, this offense is starting to move the ball a little bit.
Oh, and had that ball not been dropped, I think Howard might have had a chance to run a little bit.
I thought it was thrown a little bit in the wrong spot, but then you look at it right there and you think, oh man, that was just right down the sideline, and whoo, Howard had one right in the face mask. He could have took it to the house.
Yeah, that was the right spot, but I thought for a moment that might go the other way.
I did. Just kind of went over their hands. I think Howard might have thought that it was going to hit his hands too. Took his eyes off the ball.
2nd down and 10, and again, they are going to run that football. And Ivan Thompson making the play on Jaden Davis. But you see, as soon as that ball is snapped, you watch some of these guys like Ivan Thompson and the line. Watch the linebackers. There's no reading going on. They're not taking key steps. They're getting to the line.
Yeah, you see Ivan Thompson right there. He has 35 solo tackles. 6 tackles for losses. I mean, he's 250 pounds. He's a dominant force in that interior.
3rd down and 9. Shaw, pressure over the middle, too tall.
Woo, he had him wide open.
Did have him wide open. Trying to hit Javius Green again.
You know, but if you haven't played quarterback all year, set back like that and make that throw, that's pretty good. I think if you have more time, more games under your belt, you start seeing it a little bit better, and you would throw that and make that a completion. But, you know, being his first game really to play, you know, that he'll settle down into that.
You can see Robinson and Green, though, standing. That was a mismatch. 4th down, 9. Shaw to the middle again, and again overshot. So it'll be a turnover on downs for North Garland. That time, Mateo Howard, the intended target.
So they've been doing good running the ball, and then they kind of get out of it and start tossing it around, and they don't get any completions. They threw that ball 3 times in a row after running it right down the throat of Naaman Forest. And you start doing that, you turn the ball over, you don't have any time coming off the clock, and all of a sudden the Rangers have the ball again.
And the Rangers have the advantage in yards, 120 to 92. They only have one more first down than the Raiders, believe it or not. They've outrushed them by 26 yards. Going to go to the air, and Perales flips it out into the flat, finding Flores, who's been his favorite target tonight. And Flores runs for 11 before Christian Barrett, senior cornerback, can drop him.
Barrett and Miles for the defense, but not before. First down for the Rangers.
That's their favorite target right there with Flores. He's caught 40 passes coming into the game, 517 yards, 9 touchdowns. Now you add another one to it.
Little RPO. They fake the pass to him. Instead, they'll go right back to Flores, who this time gets tackled behind the line of scrimmage by Omar Lopez, a tackle for a loss.
Lopez and Law for the defense.
Same little play. They just bring him in motion across the field. This time, North Garland was watching for it.
They were. And, you know, they have targeted Flores a number of times already. Flores is a baseball player, believe it or not. Really good baseball player, super athlete, and deceivingly fast. He can pick him up and put him down. Doesn't look like he's running that hard, but he can scoot. A run here on 2nd down and 11. This time North Garland coming to play. Really nice job on Isaiah Cunning, who's been limited the last couple of carries. And a couple of explosive plays earlier, but North Garland does a good job getting there.
Yeah, sets up a big 3rd down and 10. Just a good job defensively. Look at that. Just out hustling his man and going after the ball, wrapping up, pulling him down. That's a nice play right there by the defensive lineman.
Braylon Smith that time. Pressure now on Perales, searching for some room, and he just kind of flips it and throws it away, even though he had a man kind of crossing over the middle that time. That was Philip Hernandez. But it will be punt time for the first time for the Rangers.
Yeah, give them big credit, man. They really worked hard on that one. They covered Flores really nice on his 2 throws, and then one run up the middle that they stopped for a tackle for a loss, and good pressure on the quarterback. All of a sudden you're having to punt the ball, and that's a good job right there by the guys in white.
It is, and it says something for a team that doesn't have its quarterback, that is down by 3 scores, and you're watching the play, you're watching the action, and you can't tell who's winning. That says a lot about the character of the team. And this North Garland team, again, led by first-year head coach Taurus Rucker. As we see Philip Cantrell drop back to kick this football for the first time in the game. Mateo Howard deep.
Yeah, they just need to, when they get the ball, not to get out from what they've been doing the best, which is running it, and just powerhouse it down the field. It seems like 2 times they've got all the way down the field, get to about the 25, 30-yard line and start throwing it around, and they end up having to go 4 downs and out.
Time pressure by Osas that time. Directional kick goes away from Mateo Howard, the return man.
Good directional punt right there. No return. That's exactly what you want. You don't want to give the ball to these guys that are so fast and have so much room. They get that ball and they'll find a little space and off to the races they go.
Both these two teams are really hard-nosed as we see Shaw to the air again. Look out. Threw it too tall and it's picked off. Middle of the field. Across the 30. Going to come back near side. Ezra Rocha, who's been on a couple of plays tonight, with the interception return down inside the 25-yard line.
Well, they start throwing the ball. Little too much. That's 4 throws in a row, and all of a sudden, one gets away from him, and Naaman Forest gets to start over.
Yeah, and it's the second turnover that Naaman Forest has forced. You lose the turnover battle, you're going to lose a lot of games. And Naaman +2 in turnovers, looking to try to make it a 4-score contest. Nothing fancy here, just hand the football off. They can't control the edge here. That went to Taylor Green. Jalen Soublé makes the stop, but they pick up 17 more.
First and goal from the 5 for the Rangers.
Just giving Cunning a little break, little different type of runner here, outside. See what he can do.
Taylor Green looks good now. He looks really athletic, and he's got some speed. 5'10", 180. He is a junior. He'll be back. They give it right back to him on a pitch. Force back inside. Flags coming in. Maybe a block in the bag.
Yeah, that or holding. It looked like there was a lot of jerseys getting pulled here. Shouldn't be any arguing. It was too obvious.
Royland Green, lead official tonight. Will be a hold.
Right here, see right there, number 3. He's holding right there. And then a big block in the back. Both of them. 2 penalties there.
One of the things that both of these two teams really noticed that a lot of these games have been going down to the 4th quarter. Not so much tonight, as North Garland, without their starting quarterback, down 19-zip and trying to keep them out of the end zone. Again, they'll go back to Green, Taylor Green. This time he gets tripped up, getting a couple. Tackled by Gabe Harris.
Right up the middle. Gabe Harris having to come up there. Hernandez having to come up there. Make a stop.
Harris, a real solid player. 40 tackles this year. 4.7 40 speed. 3-year starter on this North Garland defense. Having a great year. RPO, slant, caught it, touchdown. Dylan Turner. Boy, Dylan Turner with his 4th touchdown catch of the year.
Yeah, watch this little RPO. Get everybody coming up. Get those linebackers all sucked up in there for the stopping the run, and all of a sudden they just toss it right over the top. A little quick post pattern right there. Call it a nail. Turner's touchdown. Look at him. He's happy.
Boy, and Turner doesn't look like a guy that injured his ankle a couple of weeks ago. Cutting pretty well on it. This point after is perfect. And the Rangers have a 26-0 lead here at Williams Stadium on GRS TV.
We are all connected to something bigger than ourselves. Change one thing, change everything. The things we do today have an extraordinary impact on a child's future. A better child, a better world. GISD has a ripple effect on our community. Every lesson can positively affect our future leaders. We are Garland ISD, impacting lives, changing futures. It's what we call the GISD effect.
Fourth touchdown connection of the game for Garland Naaman Forest. They've scored 3 times on offense, a scoop and score on defense. It has been all Rangers to this point, and they do it again. They take a short field and convert a turnover into points.
Yeah, 26-0 before half. That's going to be really tough for a team that does a lot of running the ball, but they do running it. They run it so well. I think they need to just stick with it. Throwing all these passes has really cost them early.
Naaman's got 2 touchdown passes tonight. That means that D'Angelo Perales now has touchdown passes 16 and 17 against just 4 interceptions. And D'Angelo, just a sophomore, he is a good one and really understands the offense. Dad, the head coach, on senior night, as we see DeCoris Taylor with a good return just to midfield. Yeah, D'Angelo Perales, 6'2", 168. Again, a good night tonight. Men in blue, we appreciate their services. Perales 7 of 9, 55 yards and the 2 scores. And again, we're going to see the backup quarterback Cameron Shaw come back out. He's thrown it a lot more than we anticipated. 9 attempts. He's got as many attempts as Perales. I can't believe that. Again, from their own 48. Stay true to the ground here with Mateo Howard putting his head down here. Rather, Jaden Davis, I should say, Deontay Lawson, junior linebacker, making the play.
Just nice, right up the middle.
You know, and Jaden Davis with all kinds of talent. Taurus Rucker mentioning that he knew that Jaden was special from the moment he took the job. He's in his first year as head coach. Here he is again. Cuts it back, breaking a tackle, nose forward, picks up the first down, and really finishes off that run nicely, picking up 5 to move the sticks.
You know, you say that, you can tell when you have a special player because it's the attitude that they bring to practice. It's the hard work they bring to practice. It's the leadership skills. It's how they talk. And he's got all of it. And that's why they really depend on him, because he is a leader in that backfield.
And with God's power in there, he really makes the offense so much better. He can take some of the focus off the quarterback. That quarterback spot probably means more to this offense than any other in the district. As we see Shaw step up, he is swarmed and down he goes. It'll be a sack back to around the 40.5-yard line. Nice play by Bridges. He's got 2.5 sacks now on the year.
Yeah, you see Marcus Deal coming down the line, and he's the one that flushes him out of the quarterback spot in the pocket. He has to get outside, and that's where everybody else is able to come up and make the tackle.
Guns up there on the sideline. They're still in it. They think they know they've still got a chance in this game. Flip it out of the flat on the stream. Breaking tackles Mateo Howard. Picks up a hard 6, and a flag comes in late.
Green with the reception. Flag on the field.
And Mateo Howard, 5'11", 170-pound junior. He's been targeted a bunch.
Yeah, this game, now coming into the game, he had only had 12 receptions. But it seems like this game, they've been throwing it out there quite a bit to him.
Got 2 touchdown grabs this year.
Be an automatic first down. I like this little safe play. It's just a wide receiver screen. Get your guys out there. I think they're going to go with helmet to helmet right there, or talking. Maybe that's what it was.
Some jawing going on down there.
Yeah, there's where the flag came in.
A lot of coaches will tell you, hey, when the game's going on, you don't talk to any member of the other team. You only talk to your teammates and your coaches. You don't talk to officials, the other team, the other coach. Here's Howard on a wildcat and picks up only 2 this time. They like to do that occasionally. Philip Hernandez lowered the boom that time.
We'll see what they do here. This is where we've been seeing them stall out. They haven't been able to get it past the 20. They've been there a couple of times. each time they start throwing the ball and they get away from it, and Naaman Forest has been able to force them to punt the ball or for turnover on downs here.
You know, they've not done a bad job moving the football. Close to 80 yards on the ground here. And we again see Jaden Davis, who ran for over 200 yards against the district's top team last week, pick up 8 more.
Yeah, he says, come on, feed me now. Feed it to me.
Hopefully he's not coming out of the game after that feed me sign like Zeke did last week.
Yeah, no, he wants it actually here.
Jaden Davis. Well, you know who he is? Jaden Davis is the E.F. Hutton of North Garland.
Is that what it is?
He is the E.F. Hutton. When he talks, people listen.
Okay.
3rd down and 2 here, and he only gets 1.
61 Jackson with the DQ.
There's that big 61 right there in the middle. He was able to get off his block and make the big tackle. Well, look at that. He put his arms around him and just laid down.
4th down 1.
You ain't getting away from that.
Well, Naaman has already forced 2 turnovers on down.
See if they can get outside here.
2 of the last 3 drives have resulted in this. We'll see. Well, the Raiders want to talk about it first. 1:37 to go here at Williams Stadium. And these 2 teams still in a playoff hunt. A win keeps Naaman in 2nd, but North Garland has to win this one tonight to have any shot. And they are down 26-0 without their star quarterback, God's Power Nawahi. Hasn't been all bad. The turnovers, though, have resulted in a lopsided score here early on.
Yeah, I agree with you. The first drive of the game where that ball, Marcus Deal punches the ball out, and they were able to pick it up, scoop it, and run to the end zone. That right there turned it into a 13-0 game. And boy, and then the big interception as well. That turned into points. So, you know, outside of those 2 mistakes, they really haven't played that bad.
8th play of this drive coming up. 2 previous drives, 2 of the 3 previous drives, they snapped it 11 times and 12 times.
That's what you got to do. You got to keep the ball out of the Rangers' hands here.
Need 2 yards to move the sticks. If you have any shot in this game, you would think you've got to convert here, and they do. Jaden Davis inside the 5. 11 yards on a 4th and 2.
Woo, that is a power run. They're in the hurry up.
Shaw, the snap, the sneak. Pushing, touchdown.
Well, that's a big game changer right there. When you can score a touchdown with only 1:22 seconds left to the half, I think that's really good for the morale of your team. Because if you went in without scoring anything, there it is. Just big offensive line. They just got down and just started driving their guys.
Did you see Shaw? Had a little, he had a little fire there at the end.
It looked like a little bit.
Mateo Howard, you see, running on that sideline. Got a left-footed kicker. Only thing more shaky than a kicker is a left-footed kicker. I think it's on the way and good. 26-7, 1:22 to go in this first half. But you're right, it gives them some momentum, gives them a little life. And the game really is tighter than the score has indicated.
Yeah, they go in and say, look, outside of those 2 turnovers, we would be in this game. And, you know, I think as well, when they got inside the 20 and they started throwing the ball, they got away from what they wanted to do. And they had basically a turnover on down. So outside of the 2 plays right there, it's really the score is way lopsided outside of the way they're playing.
It is, and they knew coming in, they absolutely knew that they could not turn the ball over to have a chance. They've turned it over twice already. It was a fumble on a scoop and score and then a pick.
Now, you got to give it to Naaman Forest, though. They have been playing good.
They have.
And they've taken advantage. The ball don't get landing on the ground without some good play behind it. And, you know, the interception, that was kind of an overthrow. But, you know, Marcus Deal punching that ball out. Those are some good, stout defenses out there. And those guys in green are big up front. They're fast in the backfield. So you got to give a lot of credit to them as well.
Hey, listen, this Naaman Forest team is solid. They really are. Look at the winning streak that they had. They had a 3-game winning streak before they lost to Wiley last week. Beat Saxe, Garland, and South Garland. Bang, bang, bang. And didn't give up more than 13 points in any of those games. A total of 20 total points. Week 5, 6, and 7.
Okay.
They've got a great defense.
There you go. That defense is stout. And we've been talking about it all night, how that front four on that defensive front four are just really big. And they can play. They got motors.
Yes.
They got motors, and they like to tackle people and push people around. So, yeah, that I didn't realize that they had not let 3 out of the 4 teams score more than 20 points.
And I think, you know, for a Saxe team that does they do a really good job on offense to limit those guys to 13 points. And they shut out Garland. I know Garland struggled offensively this year.
Saxe averages 38 points a game.
They do. And shut out Garland, I thought was key there. They'll go right back to the air to Flores, who's made now 5 catches tonight. They are not afraid to throw that slant right off the bat. They pick up 6 to start the drive. Gabe Harris, his 3rd tackle of the half.
Well, Perales is putting it on the money. He's really come a long ways, hadn't he?
He really has. Just a young sophomore. They don't contain him here. Steps up into traffic. Look out. And he's sacked. Down he goes. They'll lose 8. Back to the 36-yard line.
He thought he had some room. Boy, you better hold that ball up tighter. Oh, man. That ball was hanging out there. So much traffic.
First time he's been sacked tonight, it was Cleaver Hernandez that got to him, and it's 3rd down and 11. 24 seconds to go. North Garland's got a timeout here. They will have to snap it before that play clock runs out. They'll make North Garland burn their final timeout, handing it off to Ivan Garcia. So they'll make him punt here, you would think, as the draw forces a 4th and 7. Osas, the defensive end, makes the play, but the clock continues to tick. And I guess that's going to do it. They'll let him go into the locker room. They don't force the punt. We are at halftime here at Williams Stadium with the Rangers out in front 26-7 on GRS TV.
Hello, my name is Joseph Figueroa, Director of Finance for Garland Raiders. We'd like to thank the government for our students and staff have worked many hours to prepare for tonight. Thank you for supporting our Sign Up program as we continue a tradition of excellence. So, without further ado,
Entertainment, North Garland High School is proud to present the 2022-2023 award-winning Mamselle. The Mamselles are led onto the field by Senior Lieutenant Carla Agreda, Senior Lieutenant Lisbeth Ovalle, Senior Lieutenant Annabelle Suarez, First Lieutenant Sydney Lewis. And in the center, wearing the signature silver hat, your captain, Michelle Martinez. The North Garland themselves would like to dedicate tonight's performance to all of our NGHS counselors. We couldn't do this without you. Special congratulations goes to the Mamsells Teacher of the Week, Mr. Tomer Saltzman. And our Mamsells of the Week are rookie Princess Salas and veteran Hannah Ferguson. The North Garland Mamsells would like to wish the Naaman Forest High Sterling Stars good luck tonight and for the rest of their season. The Mamsells are proudly under the direction of Miss Nicole Numa and Assistant Director Miss Sally Portillo. Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin the second part of your halftime entertainment with the North Garland Band, we would like to take a moment to recognize two of our senior cheerleaders, Dylan Aviri Patilla and Brokey Mudrock. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to continue your halftime entertainment, we present the North Garland award-winning Raider Band. The North Garland Raider Band is under the direction of Cameron Green, Austin Taylor, Gabe Hernandez, and L'Oreal Riker. Your 2022 Raider Band drum majors are Josh Kubik, Landon Gunn, Jason Liu, and Alex Sorrell. Tonight, the band will perform 3 selections of their show entitled Burst. We would like to dedicate tonight's performance to all of our band parents and guardians. We couldn't do this without you. Ladies and gentlemen, the North Garland High School Raider Band!
Forest Rangers right now with a 26-7 advantage as we get set for third quarter action. Had a fun start to this ball game. Defense set the tone early for North Garland after they scored the touchdown. Let's take a look at the first half highlights and see how everything unfolded. It was a lot of action early, and it happened often as these two teams kind of on opposite ends. Naaman hoping to stay in second place. Meantime, North Garland, they knew that they had to win this ball game, and you see Isaiah Cunning breaking tackles, keeping his balance, taking a hit, being thrown into the end zone for the touchdown. And so North Garland was down early in this ball game, but they come back, and then the ball's stripped. Ball gets knocked out by Marcus Deal, then picked up, and Arnold Irvin on a scoop and score and makes it a two-score game.
Arnold Irvin, he was all over the field. I mean, he also got the interception earlier and picks up a touchdown there.
How about Perales with one of two touchdown tosses, this time to Flores to extend the lead to 19-0. And then that quick slant, Dylan Turner comes up with an 11-yard touchdown reception. And North Garland, they weren't finished, and they kept pushing. Shaw with that quarterback sneak and cuts it to a 26-7 lead going into the locker room. But look at the defense for Naaman. They were everywhere.
Man, that's just a big green wall. Look, number 34 really showed up out there. I mean, he played some ball, had some huge hits.
Josh McGowan.
He was all over the place. Big interception.
Ezra Rocha.
Look at that, switching his arms like he's a running back or something.
Like he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, he put the ball in the right hand.
And Naaman Forest doing it with offense and defense to take the 26-7 lead into the locker room.
Yeah, but you know, big first quarter. I mean, Naaman Forest had 19 points that first quarter, but that second quarter, it evened out pretty good, 7-7. Looks like, you know, Garland kind of figured out what they wanted to do and settled down a little bit. Punched it in with 1:20 left of the clock. Be able to go into that halftime with their heads up a little bit.
Cameron Shaw hands it to Jaden Davis, who gets forced outside. A flag comes in right off the edge. Davis in that first half had a solid 62 yards. This one's going to come back here. He carried it 16 times, averaging almost 4 per carry after a 200-yard game last week. But holding right off the bat. Good crowd on.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun out there. Everybody's kind of dressed up. The band's dressed up out there.
Band's kind of dressed up.
Yeah, they got bananas and
tacos and apostles, all kinds of folks.
Jesus walking down there playing the flute.
Shaw on a stop route just threw it right at the feet of Green, who had a couple of catches in that first half.
Shaw 4 of 10 in that first half, 1 interception. Jalen Davis rushing the ball. I mean, he's the one that was really working so well for him. 16 attempts, 62 yards. Cameron Shaw, he also ran the ball for 15.
Cameron Shaw, kind of a jack of all trades last week against Wiley East. Just 1 of 5 for 5 yards, and he had thrown the ball as many times as his counterpart Perales late first half, and they both ended up with 10 first half attempts, if you can believe that. This is 3rd and 10.
Run it.
Shaw steps up, throws it over the middle, has his man.
Uh-oh.
The break at the tackle has the first down into Ranger territory as we see Jarvis Green doing it with his legs. Dominique Hall pulls him down. 22 in their biggest pass play.
That was a nice play because they had Taylor running over the middle. And I really thought Cameron Shaw was going to take off running. Look, he had the room to run. Boy, he just finds him, keeps his eyes downfield. Beautiful little toss. Big block right there by Javius Green. He gets a pancake on a block. Springs Taylor for a little bit extra yards.
These Raiders determined to try to keep that defense honest. This is one of the tougher front fours that you will see. Again, they're going to go to the air. And Shaw in a tight window fits it, and a big play. And here goes Mateo Howard with a cut inside the 10.
Wow. He threw the little tight post pattern right on the money. The coverage was really good. Watch the coverage right here. It's there. Oh. But a lot of times what happens is everybody goes for that ball, and all of a sudden the offensive player catches it. There's no one to stop him.
Cameron Shaw improving as the game goes along. That was a tight window.
It was really good coverage.
RPO, hand it to Davis. Fighting. Goal line. Can they get an extra push? I don't think he's down. The scrum continues. He's down to the 1.
Well, you like to see those offensive linemen get in behind that and start pushing. It's good to see that North Garland came out of that halftime fired up and ready to keep playing.
Second down and goal from the 1.
Boy, Jaden Davis.
Ball on the
ball's
ground.
out.
Oh,
Look
boy.
out. Well, this would be a disaster if they lose the football. Naaman thinks they've got it.
Yeah, I think they do. Yep.
And they do. Oh, what a heartbreaker there. Quasi Barnes comes out of there with it.
He just never gets it put up in his arms and hold on to it tight. He gets the snap, pulls it up high, and just never really grabs a hold of it.
Boy, that is disheartening as Quasi Barnes, the senior /linebacker, came away with that thing. I'm going to Naaman Forest player down right here, but well, you get it down inside the 5. You're on the lip and just could not make it happen. Let's watch it one more time.
First
they went
down.
under center.
He gets a clean snap.
They're just not accustomed to that. Well, I get so leery with guys going under center these days, especially a backup quarterback.
Let's give him a hand.
It looks
Marcus
like
Deal.
Yeah. He
Marcus
probably got rolled up on a little bit. Everybody jumping for the ball.
Marcus Deal, a guy that, again, with all kinds of offers, NFL potential, they feel like. Georgia, Texas, TCU, top 3 on his list. OU, Arkansas, USC, Stanford. He is a big deal.
Well, you know, you're 6'6", 320. That's all.
Is that all? and you can run like you're 250?
Yeah.
That's not bad.
And you like to play football. How about that?
Yeah. Each hit, you just like it even more. Well, D'Angelo Perales has loved football this year. He's 8 of 10 tonight. 61 yards, completed 80% of his passes. And they keep it on the ground on this first play to Isaiah Cunning, who in that first half for Naaman ended up running the football for 23 yards on just 5 carries.
Nice little spin move right there. Clear out a little bit of room.
Second down, 5.
5-yard run for Cunning. Cunning, a guy that's a converted linebacker. They have turned him into a running back. Boy, he gets a full head of steam and trucks the safety.
Oh, no.
Boy, you talk about loving to hit somebody. That's 11 more, and who wants to get in that guy's way? Noah Miles certainly doesn't like it. He got hit hard.
Oh, my goodness. He just gets through there with a head of steam.
Change. First down, Naaman Forest.
That'll make you want to get out of the way next time. How about that? Let me arm tackle you.
Yeah, you can hear the coach on the side. Keep your head up.
Yeah,
that truck
for
comes
sure.
right at you.
Oh, man.
First down and 10
Those
from
headlights are bright.
From the 18. Nobody wants to get in this guy's way right now. Cutting nose forward to the 28. Another 10.
Yeah, he's just gaining momentum. I mean, that started at the 1-yard line, and all they do is just keep handing it to him. And eventually, it wears you down. Look at big number 85. All these guys pulling one way to the other, trap blocking for him, and then he's doing the rest.
Nobody stepped in front of him. They wanted to try to yank him down from the side.
Yeah.
There were a lot of business decisions going on down there. Oh, good cutback this time.
Oh, no, he did
Cunning
it
again. Boy, that looked like a replay of what we just saw. And again, it was Noah Miles that took another hard hit. Noah Miles is going to have a talk with the linebackers.
Yeah, I think so, too. You don't want your safety leading the team in tackles, especially straight up by yourself, soloing it.
You don't want to lead in grease stains either. And that's what we've seen.
No.
That's what we've seen the last 2 plays.
Oh, they're glad that number 25 Taylor Green's in there. He might be fast, but he's no 215 pounds Cunning coming at you.
You know, when he started this year, they knew he was a little bit out of shape. He's kind of played himself into shape. they'll give Cunning a rest here and give it to Taylor Green, who I really like. I think this guy's a good prospect. It's one.
Yeah, I think that defense was glad that Green came in.
Well, they sure were. Man. Yeah, well, here comes Cunning. He just needed one play off.
Yeah, one play. Yeah.
He's coming back in.
Come right back in there.
He had 180 against Garland. That was probably his best game of the year. And he's gotten better at pass protection, too. You're going to be a great running back, that's one thing, but to really take pride in that pass protection, they throw it out on the edge, and that ball is caught, and a huge run up the sideline for Dominique Hall, who is a backup wide receiver. Hall continues to fight close to 15 before Jalen Soublé can knock him into the sideline.
Well, this was a nice rollout. See, everybody forgets about Hall being over there because everybody's looking at the wide receiver going way upfield, and he brings two people to cover him. Hall just sits down and just hides, basically. That's Paralis just toss it to him when everybody forgets about him.
Hall has a similar characteristic to Cunning in that they both make you tackle them.
Yeah, it proved right there, right? He wasn't stepping out of bounds.
Ground game again. Cunning again off left tackle this time.
So it looks like, you know, Naaman Forest is kind of coming out here and saying, okay, we're going to run the ball. We've got a nice lead. Let's use the clock and only pass if we have to.
They're probably a little bit concerned because North Garland has had 3 drives where they have snapped it at least 10 times. And we've talked so much about the Naaman defense, but at the same time, North Garland has met the challenge on many occasions tonight.
Absolutely. In fact, they were down on the 1-yard line right there.
Yeah.
First and goal when they lost that one. Turnovers have been really hard on North.
Paralis on a play fake. Good arm right there. And that's a stick over the middle. I don't know how they were able to hold on to that football. What a catch over the middle by Rocha. That's his second grab. Miles hit him.
Beautiful post play. They just caught him out there trying to stop the run.
Roach has been a big part of both special teams and the offense. Remember, this drive began from their own 2 after North Garland fumbled the ball. Angelo Paralis going to pitch it here. Student body left. No. Boy, North Garland ready for it. They did not get much that time as they flipped that ball into the flat to Sayway, who's been a part of the run game. Rosales got him.
From the other side of the field, Rosales chases him all the way down. Did you see that?
Yes.
He lined up on the left side. And usually you leave them unblocked because you can outrun it to the other side. But Rosales said, nuh-uh, not today.
He's doubled his tackles for a loss this year. He had 4 of those last year. 62 tackles last year. They'll roll Paralis out and throw it out into the flat. This is Hall again, who's got a first down and then some.
Yeah,
got high load inside the 5 as he picks up 17 more.
Same play to the right side this time. Everybody goes deep. Hall just kind of hides right over there. What kind of tackle was that?
Man.
Did you see number 23? What was that?
I don't think that was wrapping him up and running your feet. I didn't see a lot of that going on.
Wow.
Now, this is going to be a massive drive here for many reasons. Naaman Forest is down inside the 5 on a drive began from their own 2 after they forced the fumble. North Garland was trying to cut it to a 2-score game. Paralis reversing out. Bad toss out into the flat that time. They certainly did have him. That's the tight end Jordan Johnson, who's been targeted a couple of times. A flag came out.
But come out from the line judge there. So maybe get him with an offsides.
He got him for illegal procedure, maybe.
Oh, maybe so.
Now, the umpires had a hard time marking off yardage tonight.
It's only the end of the season. They're in full form here.
They're trying to get that way. They're getting ready for the 2nd season coming, or the 3rd season.
Did they call a penalty?
They called an illegal procedure. It'll be 1st and goal from the 9. Morales, a guy that doesn't force things. That's why he's only thrown 4 picks. They'll pitch it to Cunning. Second time they've run the sweep. And the second time that Garland's been there, but this time Cunning runs over not 2, but almost 3 guys to get down to around the 2. Wow. 7 yards.
Still such a strong run right there. Look at big blocking by number 75. Wow.
Well, they know that the offensive line is their strength. Back to blue tonight here at Williams Stadium.
Yeah, thank you guys for all you do.
Good game for Cunning so far. Really good second half. This is the first drive of the half. Cunning had an 11-yard run and a couple of 10-yard runs earlier in the drive. We'll see if they can get it to him again. RPO, they go back to him. Cunning trying to keep his balance, looking for the goal line, and he's got it. Touchdown. Isaiah Cunning is second of the game.
Well, just everybody go left. See what'll happen, and man, it's just a load. It's a load to stop.
Really like watching this senior. 5'11", 215 pounds, had 1,005 yards coming in. Remember, Kingsley Bennett the last 3 years has been a 1,000-yard guy for them, and he's kind of taken his place and really filled his shoes nicely, and it has been on display tonight.
A 99-yard drive, and I think he got about 95 of it.
He was fantastic. They used the student body play that you don't see very often these days. That PAT just barely squeaking in there for Dalton, or for David Jalote. And 33-7.
Look at these guys. They're having a good time out there tonight, aren't they? I'm having a good time watching them.
Jack Sparrow action. Who's that character right there with that one eye?
I think that's one of those.
That's not SpongeBob, is it?
No.
Who is that? Oh, that's a minion. That's right.
SpongeBob. Why? Because it was yellow?
Yeah, that's all. That's as far as I can get. We're getting a shot of Isaiah Cunning. Boy, what a season he's had. You know, his long this year was just 44 yards coming in. He's not a big home run hitter, but man, is he tough in the trenches.
Yeah, that drive, though, how impressive was that thing?
Oh, incredible.
Almost as impressive as these guys.
12 plays, 98 yards. Takes up about half of this third quarter. 33-7. Rangers have the lead now.
Cunnings, man, they just fed it to him the whole way.
They did.
I think they gave the ball to Taylor Green one time, and outside of that, it was all him. A couple of passes.
Taylor, DeCoris Taylor on the return, got hit hard, kept his balance for a moment, and pulled down to the 24-yard line. So North Garland will get it back. 3:35 to go in the third quarter. And Taurus Rucker, who's in his first year as head coach, you see him talking to his group. And he had made mention, you know, against this Naaman team, you had to finish in the fourth quarter, had to tackle well. Haven't seen a lot of great tackling. Didn't see tremendous tackling on that last drive. But they knew they had to defend the run game because Naaman, a lot like a lot of teams now in 9-6A this year, they've been going to a lot of tight end. Every team in the district runs a tight end set, it seems like, these days.
Well, you know, Naaman, they have Jason Flores, and they do it constantly with him. You run with that tight end. Uh-oh.
In the flat with a chance, and a chance to go across midfield. Flag has been thrown. Mateo Howard up the sideline appears to have gone 77 yards. But we'll check out the penalty flag that was thrown at about the 30-yard line, way back here. Boy, Mateo's going to do a little dance. He likes it.
Hey, that guy's had a good game.
He has.
That's his second long run of the game, but I think they're going to get a holding right there at the 25-yard line. I think he's coming back. He knew he had to get in the end zone this time. Last time it was fumbled on the 1, so he wanted to get there.
That's his third grab of the night, but I don't think it's going to hold up. Averaging 22 yards per reception tonight. His best game as a pass catcher. Howard came in with 16 catches, 244 yards. Did they pick it up? Oh, they picked the flag up.
I've never seen that before.
It's going to be a touchdown for North. What do we know? Touchdown for the Raiders.
I mean, you've been doing this a long time. Have you ever seen them pick up a holding call like that?
Not in a long time. 74 yards, I do believe it was, on the Mateo Howard pitch out into the flat. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that ball was thrown backwards. I think they had him set up maybe for a double pass later in the game. They go 74 yards on the touchdown pass. And this point after is good. 33-14. Naaman Forest sees the lead trimmed. Hey, the Raiders are only a couple of turnovers away from getting back in this thing.
You are exactly right.
On GRS TV. .77 yards on the touchdown pass from Shaw to Howard. And Cameron getting his first start of the year as a junior wide receiver, having to step into the shoes vacated by God's Power Nawahi, who sustained a foot injury last week against the best team in the district, Wiley East. And Cameron Shaw, believe it or not, has thrown his first touchdown pass of the year against a couple of interceptions. And the Raiders are not dead yet. Still 3:20 to go here in the third. They're going to onside this thing. Tough hop. They got a chance.
Got it.
Raider ball.
How about that? Oh, no, they threw a flag. Let's see if they pick this one up. Might be a little offsides.
Oh, it better have been blatant to have thrown that flag.
North Garland has more yards now than Naaman Forest. 276 to 269. How about that?
With a backup quarterback. Royland Lee's been a big part of the action tonight. They're going to call the offside. It's going to negate the recovery. You know, teams only recover these onside kicks at about 12%. Let's see.
Oh.
Man, that far guy, the closest to the official, they called him offside. His whole body has to be across.
Yeah, I didn't
and I'm
see
not
it
sure
there.
about that.
I mean, the referee from this side of your screen is the one that called it. So maybe it was the defensive player on this side, kickoff guy from this side. I didn't see it. Boy.
And that was just an unbelievable kick and a result. That thing came up with a hard second bounce. Watch this. It's going to hit him right in the face mask.
Yeah, hits him face mask.
You can't get a better result than this.
Doink. Then a good block. Falls on it. I mean, that's a tough call to call back and have him kick this one over.
I think that was Omar Lopez, who literally, it looked like a box out in basketball, and then he went and got the rebound.
Yeah, I think so. It was Lopez, and he did it. Oh, that's just a tough one.
Got to do it again. Got to get a good break again.
It's on the 35 now. You give Naaman the balls. I think you just pooch kick it right over into the empty and race to the ball now.
Kangaroo. Fair catch.
Well, the whole side of this side of the field was just, there was nobody over there. If you kicked it to the 30 or 20 on this side of the field, There's just nobody there. The ball would just be floating around on the ground until somebody outran it to get there. Yeah, I don't know why you do a pooch kick right there. Might as well have kicked it on down the field or kicked the onside again.
Naaman will try to seize momentum after they put together a 98-yard drive with their last opportunity in 12 plays. North Garland just could not stop the run. Isaiah Cunning has just been a monster, a machine. Set up a screen here, and boy, does it develop nicely. This is Garcia inside the 30. Garcia with a block. Inside the 10, Garcia scores, and a flag comes out. A flag came at it around the 15-yard line. Maybe a hold. How about the execution, though, on that screen?
Well, that was nice. And you throw it to Garcia, one of the fastest guys out there, 165-pound receiver, sophomore.
If it is against Naaman, it should be a spot foul. They'll get a lot of the yardage, though.
Watch this little screen. Prowse looks left, tosses it right. Look at all these big linemen out there in front of him. Let's see where the hold. They get the hold right there. That was a really ticky-tack call right there.
I didn't see much of a hole there.
Not at all.
They are down to the 31-yard line. Again, Perales will use the legs to roll out, finds his man somehow. That's Hall, who's made 2 catches already here in the half. And it goes incomplete. That's actually a French Love, the target there. Jeremiah French Love.
Third down.
I'm kind of surprised that they're still throwing the ball here.
I'm shocked. They got a guy averaging about 11 yards a pop. Let's go to the air.
Yeah, and stop the clock and all this stuff, this kind of thing. Your last possession, you ran the ball from the 98, scored.
Oh, look at this. This is a huge run. Nice job by Cunning to get into the second level before you could blink. And he gets 13 more on the cutback. Soublé was there. So was Barrett.
Yeah, Christian Barrett, I mean, he's having to take on a 215-pound guy right there. He's only 165 pounds, and well, your safeties are really having to do a lot of stopping.
Doing a lot of work tonight. First down from the 19. They are in the red zone again. Trying to increase a 33-14 game. 2:15 here in the third. RPO into double coverage, and it goes incomplete.
No, is that a flag come out?
I didn't see a flag. But they were trying to hit Dylan Turner again.
It was double covered right there.
Ball was forced. You don't see Perales force many balls.
Second down, team from the 19.
That's a pretty tough throw.
It is a tough throw. He's gotten better at throwing on the run. Again, it's an emotional night for Jesse Perales, the head coach for Naaman. D'Angelo and Justice both playing in their last game together. Perales, the quarterback. D'Angelo's a sophomore. Justice, his center, his brother, is a senior. This is his last game at senior night. Flip it out into the flat. Another catch made, this time by Jordan Johnson, who gets down to around the 10, looking for a first down. Jalen Soublé trying to hold him, but I think he's got enough for the yard to gain.
With the reception.
Just a nice little throw out. I mean, they do that with Flores a lot. This time, number 85 right there, Jordan Johnson,
First down.
does the little play and pays off. He's a big guy himself. Johnson, 230 pounds.
Put Cunning behind the quarterback, kind of an offset eye. It's a lead play to Cunning, and he just never could get accelerated. I thought Rosales did a good job of setting the edge and then getting to the ball carrier. Might have lost a yard on that play.
Yeah, Johnson, the big guy we were just talking about, they had the reception. He leads blocks right here and makes a good block. I don't know. It's just the vision wasn't there on that play. Never really developed.
I want to talk about Justice Perales, the senior center. He's got 7 offers, believe it or not. He's got an offer from UTEP, Rice, Air Force, Sam Houston State, Army. Keep it on the ground to Cunning, who gets close to the 5-yard line on second down. It'll be 3rd and goal. Hernandez makes the tackle, but Arizona State, an offer too. Big number 55 right there in the middle. Justice Perales. He's had a good year.
Right? I mean, how many people get to be brothers like that out there playing? And then on top of that, it's the center and the quarterback, and they touch the ball every single play.
They do, and there he is, big number 55 right there in the middle, Justice Perales, 6'3", 285, a senior. And Jesse is the dad. The father's the head coach of this Naaman team, who's in his 4th year. And, you know, a guy that actually came over from El Paso de Barro High School. And personally, Coach Perales is trying to keep a streak going. He has made the playoffs as a head coach, Bobby, 18 straight years going back to his time in El Paso. And he hopes that that doesn't come to an end this year.
Well, he's got a good chance right now. I mean, if they win this game, it just puts them one step closer with one game left. And, you know, I think you got Wiley East, Naaman.
Yeah.
And everybody else is kind of right there in the middle.
And everybody's still in it. If North Garland does not come back, they've got 12 minutes and 34 seconds to do it. But if they don't come back and win this one, they will be ousted from the postseason. And I wish that we could have seen the matchup that we thought we were going to see with God's Power Nawahi matched up against D'Angelo Perales, the 2 big quarterbacks. You know, this district's got a lot of great quarterbacks this year.
Yeah, I mean, in this game alone, the 2 turnovers would probably have not happened if Nawahi was in the game, because he's just used to the speed of it.
Perales, everybody's covered up, and he runs out of bounds. Sacked on 3rd down and goal. Surprised he didn't throw that away.
Yeah, just go ahead and toss that away. Everybody was covered. They did a good job. Perales, he does a good job right there, because number 9 jumps up in his way, and he just smartly pulls that thing down and runs. But yeah, stay in bounds right there. Keep the clock rolling.
I think he was a little bit surprised that Rosales has the speed that he does.
Really, because he got out on the chase, didn't he?
David Gelote, the junior, out to attempt what will be a 24-yarder. He's got an extreme angle with this. Extend the Naaman advantage. Nice kick. Right down the chute. 36-14 in favor of Naaman Forest. That's a really nice kick there by David Gelote. 5'8", 155-pound junior kicker. Take a look at the district standings here. Wiley East claiming the district title. Everyone else still alive, save for South Garland. And the only really team that was hoping to come up with it, had to have a victory this week, was North Garland. They lose tonight, they're done.
Yeah, you're sitting there at 2-4. You're done if you don't win that, because everybody else is right in the middle. 3-3. Naaman Forest right there at 4-2. So when they win this game, they're most likely going to be in with one game remaining. And the rest of, everybody's kind of in the middle. Saxe tomorrow will play Wiley. That's going to be a big game. Saxe could flip it. They'll be up at 4-3, and then Wiley would be at 4-3, and then Saxe would have the tie over the big school.
I was going to say Saxe got a chance to represent the big school. 3-5 right now, 3-3, and Saxe, should they lose to Wiley, that would set up a big matchup next week with North Garland. So here is the kickoff. It will go out of bounds. This will be an illegal procedure.
Well, these line judges loving this call right here. This is the second one we've seen. Offsides on the kickoff. .22-point game right now. And if you just joined us,
This thing kind of got started with a bang for Naaman.
Yeah, 19 points in that first quarter. That was really tough. Outside of that, it's been a pretty close game.
You know, it had
last two drives for Naaman Forest, though, they've really put together two long, time-consuming drives, and both have ended up with scores. 10 points.
That drive took about 3 minutes off the clock. 3:13, in fact, on this last one. Results in the field goal, 36-14 our score. But early in the game, you know, when Deal forced the fumble, then Arnold Irvin was able to scoop it and score it. You could kind of tell it was going to be Naaman's night tonight. They have forced 3 turnovers. They are +3 in the turnover department. That has been a big difference.
Oh, here he goes
Mateo
again.
Howard, look out. Howard cut it inside. He's got a chance. He's going to go. Nobody will catch him. This is a kickoff return for a touchdown, and the Raiders continue to answer.
What in the world? Turner has just been the player of the game. I mean, how many times is he going to go 70 yards in one game? And all you can do is start watching for flags everywhere, because every time he gets it, it seems like he goes down, scores, and they call it back.
Boy, he's got to be exhausted. He's had a great, this has to be his best game of the year. That ball might have been partially blocked, and it knuckles its way through the goalpost to make it a 16-point game. It's a 2-score game with exactly 12 minutes to go. We'll take a break, and we will continue fourth quarter action between North Garland and Naaman on GRS TV coming up.
We are all connected to something bigger than ourselves. Change one thing, change everything. The things we do today have an extraordinary impact on a child's future. A better child, a better world. GISD has a ripple effect on our community. Every lesson can positively affect our future leaders. We are Garland ISD, impacting lives, changing futures. It's what we call the GISD effect.
Mateo Howard with a couple of scores tonight. He scored the last one on that 77-yard touchdown pass from Shaw to Mateo Howard, and now Mateo Howard on a unofficially 70-yard kickoff return. How about Mateo Howard here in the second half? And that was very impressive.
Yeah, and he had that long run that was 45 yards that he was tackled on the 1-yard line as well. I mean, he has just played outstanding. They have had no answers for him.
North Garland will kick it off in a 2-score game. I cannot believe that they have been able to do it, but they have closed this thing, and they will probably, I would not put it past them to onside again. They've already come up with an onside recovery that was waved off via penalty. We'll see what happens here. It'll be a driving kick, though. They'll march him back. Ball's live. That ball is live. Hall picks it up and tackled inside the 20.
Yeah, this is what I've been saying, do all along. There's nobody up there. They all come up top. Might as well just kick it back and have a race to the ball. That's what they did. You know, this game, 21-36. But North Garland had the ball at first down on the 1-yard line and fumbled it.
Fumble the ball going into score. They have continued to fight. I am very impressed with their tenacity tonight. They could have easily rolled over.
They really need to get a 3-and-out right here, though, and get the ball back quick.
Almost
and be
have
able
to have
score.
it, don't you?
Yeah, you got to have it.
Well, let's see. They're going to go with a couple of running backs. Ivan Garcia and Isaiah Cunning. Those are the standard running backs for this team. And this Naaman Forest team has thrown it more than expected. They look in the flat. Instead, they're going to throw it deep. He's got an open man, but he undershot him. Overshot Turner and ended up undershooting Cunning there.
I think everybody was pretty much covered there. He had to put that one right on the dime, and I'm kind of surprised they're even throwing it. I surely thought that they would just give a heavy dose of Cunnings right here and let him run the ball and let the clock just move down. I mean, you throw it, you get incomplete passes, you're stopping the clock.
They've thrown it for 165 yards. Cunning is just 15 yards away from the century mark. They're going to run it here. Oh, nice move. He's already in the third level and picks up over 20 yards. That's 22 more for Cunning. He's over the century mark with that toad.
Yeah, that's the backbreaker right there. You really needed to stop him. Giving up 30 yards right there. That's a whole nother set of downs, and it flips the field position.
It does, but that incompletion helped him out a little bit. Pretty much the same play. This time behind the line of scrimmage. Down goes Cunning. How about that? Oseway, I should say. Rosales making the tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Really rotating backs in there.
Well, Cunning's had a lot of runs. Now he's up to 16 runs, and Sayway's got four runs now for 62 yards.
6 different players have run the football. They'll rotate Perales over there. They get it on the edge, and making the catch at the line of scrimmage, kind of an extension of the run game, but nothing doing here. Tackle right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, we've been seeing that play to Dominique Hall, you know, where they send everybody deep and Hall just stays there and looks like he's not in the play, and they toss it out to him and he has a lot of running room. This time, number 1 was out there, Javius Green, on the coverage, and he did a good job. He stayed with his man and didn't get fooled.
3rd and 14, and they go empty. 5 wides. Nickel coverage. Over the middle up the seam, and he's got his man. This is Turner running away inside the 20. And he scores the touchdown. 67 yards.
Wow, right over the middle. Oh, man. They grabbed him by the back of the collar and pulled him down right there. Dangerous tackle.
3rd touchdown pass for D'Angelo Perales. And if North Garland had any chance of coming back in this ball game, you and I talked about it, they almost had to have a stop. But they could not get it done. Another explosive play. 67-yard touchdown from Perales to Turner. The point after is good. 42-21. Take a break and continue. 9:49 to go here at Williams Stadium in Garland on GRS TV. A lot of offense here in the second half. This second half has not seen a punt. 43-21. Naaman Forest, a team that only averages 27 a game, has put themselves one score within 50 here, and they will kick it off. Naaman has thrown a couple of touchdowns here in the second half. They have the 24-yard field goal, and North Garland has fumbled. Thrown a 77-yard touchdown pass from Shaw to Howard, and a Mateo Howard 84-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. They need another one of those. Here's the kick there by Jalot. This is Green. Arena cut back in the middle. Trying to break a tackle. Has real good field position out to the 40. 15 on the return.
That was the longest 10-yard return I've ever seen. I think that lasted like 15 seconds.
Yeah. So North Garland gets that thing back. He was being patient. It was almost like a point guard probing.
Yeah, it really was. He's back and forth, back and forth. Finally cuts it up.
So from their own 40-yard line. Shaw tonight 7 of 14, 50% for 178 with a touchdown and 1 pick. That is not a bad. That's a pretty good night for a backup quarterback.
Yeah, he had the fumble and the pick though, and the fumble really killed him.
Throws it out. Has his man. This is Howard. A move. 7 more. It was a good pass right there by Shaw. Stevens with a tackle.
If there's anybody you want to cover tonight, it's that Mateo Howard. He is on fire.
Good tackle right there by Stevens. How about Stevens with 38 tackles from his cornerback spot coming into the game?
Yeah, that's a lot of tackles. I'm not sure if you want that as a team. I think you got to have linebackers to help you out on that, but you see how they play out there. They play with just 2 linebackers.
You know, they feel like Stevens maybe a D1 corner. This ball's on the ground. Shaw's got to go fall on it. Another mishap on the exchange there.
You know, these kind of mistakes right here are basically because you haven't played. You haven't played the position. You can see where he can throw the ball and he can run the ball. He's got a lot of talent. It's just his first game doing it.
It's a real cloudy mesh point, wasn't it? Got a lot of bodies down there.
You do. You got them going all different directions. Ball hits somebody's hip and it's out.
There's no doubt, though, that Cameron Shaw can certainly do what he needs to do. The offensive line has been good tonight. He gets sacked here as Bridges comes up with the 2nd sack of the game. Devion Bridges.
He has plenty of time to throw it, just not anybody really open, and he doesn't feel comfortable throwing it, kind of pulls it down, and that's when Bridges can get a hold of him.
Bridges, a guy with a real high motor. That's what they love about him, a great leader. He continues to fight. It's 4th and 5. The Raiders need 5 yards. You got to have midfield. Delayed blitz. They pick it up into the flat. Too tall that time for Green. And it will be a turnover on downs. That is the 3rd one of those I believe we have seen tonight. And that's the 3rd turnover on downs that Naaman has forced.
Yeah, it's just tough. That's a tough place to be in. You fumble the ball, and instead of it being a short distance, you take a sack and you fumble, and all of a sudden you're having to throw it on 4th down right there, and it's just a tough play. They knew that Naaman Forest defense was setting on that. They knew exactly where it was going.
Angelo Perales, 15 of 20, 234 yards in this game. He's not finished. Throws it out into the flat, finds Johnson for the 2nd time. His tight end who fights for a stick mover there. He really finished off the run after the catch. Miles has taken a hard hit again.
It's interesting that they keep throwing the ball, and you know, I think you've got teams scouting you now because they feel like you're going to be in the playoffs here, and I don't know if I'd give them too much. Just keep it simple.
No, Miles has been busy at that safety spot. I remember he got trucked a couple of times by Cunning.
I mean, he's going to be sore.
Oh man, he needs an ice bath in a big way. But he stepped up the last couple of games, and he's had a solid game tonight. They'll roll him down, though. He's pretty good against the run. He's not afraid to take a hit. Cunning, a block inside the 20. There he goes. Touchdown. Cunning from 34 yards out scores again.
You got to believe that's just some guys just kind of getting out of his way. Now look at that pancake block. You got 2 huge pancake blocks at the 2nd level by that offensive line. They went after some guys and cleared the way. I mean, that was a beautiful display from that offensive line right there.
Cunning with 3 touchdowns. That is his 3rd rushing touchdown of the game.
Yeah, he's at 135 yards now.
He has been fantastic. This is a running back that will, you would think, be toting it somewhere on Saturday. Strong, he's got great feet, old school running back. Just don't see guys like that around that much anymore.
And somebody that can take the pounding over and over and over. I mean, they're handing him the ball 30, 25, 30 times a game, and you're getting tackled a lot when you do that. And he's just been able to handle it.
Had 8 touchdowns coming in. That's 3 tonight. And he has been solid. Now, this Naaman Forest team, they came in averaging 27 points a game. They'll go to 5-2 regardless of what Wiley does tomorrow. Garland, Naaman Forest will be in second place in the district. And, you know, they came out, they took care of business early. They forced the fumble, got the scoop and score. But you've got to be pleased with what North Garland has done with a backup quarterback. Taurus Rucker in his first year, as we mentioned. 8th year overall at North Garland. He was an assistant for a long time. And, you know, they don't have anything to hang their heads about tonight. You know, I think it's a much different game if they've got God's Power and Nawahi in there.
I believe so, too. But Cameron Shaw, I mean, he's come out and he's played pretty good. I mean, they put him out there and having him throw the ball all over the field. And, you know, I'm sure things are just going in fast motion to Shaw right now.
Mateo Howard, who's already got 1 return tonight, runs all the way across the field, spins 3 times, and he's dropped to the 28. Good kick coverage that time.
I mean, Shaw's been good. I mean, everything has to be moving pretty fast for him right now. Just being the first time you've lined up under center all year long, and all of a sudden you're out there and you're tossing the ball everywhere and you're having to try to lead a team from behind. That's never easy to do, and he's done a pretty good job. He's just a junior.
He is, and you know, his head coach Taurus Rucker, John Tatum, his offensive coordinator, that kind of built this offense to where it's systematic. They can kind of plug guys in. They don't have to change a whole lot. That's what they like about Shaw. They didn't have to change the offense putting him in there.
Yeah, because he's definitely a runner as well. He's 215 pounds. He can really get in there and run the ball hard right up the middle. And, you know, that's what they use with God's Power and Nawahi. They run the ball and throw it when they have to.
Jaden Davis goes over 70 yards with that run. Keenan Ivory makes his first stop in this ball game. Davis 18 carries, 75 yards now, does not have a touchdown. Davis came in with 9 rushing touchdowns this year and 1,333 total yards.
That's all?
Yeah. He had over 200 last week, as we mentioned, against Wiley East. Boy, good blocking up front this time against a couple of backups that have come in for Naaman Forest. Jaden Davis again moves the sticks. Davis last year was 731 total yards.
Well, you know, as we were talking at the beginning of the game, they were going to have to rely on Jaden Davis. I mean, that's who is going to have to carry them today, but they've decided to throw the ball a lot. And a lot of that is because you fell not behind in the score, 19-0 in the first quarter. It really makes you have to change your game plan and try to play catch up.
29-point game. They're going to go deep here. Shaw has his man down the sideline and the touchdown.
Wow.
A big blow again to Corliss Taylor's 5th touchdown of the year.
Woo. I mean, that was on the money.
What a pass. Jerwill Austria getting burned right there by DeCorliss Taylor.
I mean, that ball, he takes that snap and just tosses it straight out there, and the speed that Taylor has to go out and get that thing right on the money.
You know, the unfortunate part about Shaw, he could be a quarterback for a lot of teams.
That's what I'm saying.
But
yeah,
you know,
God's
Power will be back next year. This ball block picked up.
Gotta love it.
And no chance right there for a fullback type who picked it up. Maddox Lopez, the kicker, who looks like a fullback. 5:40 to play in this one. We'll take a break and continue. 50-27 in favor of the Rangers on GRS TV. .540 to go in this ball game. 60 yards on the touchdown pass from Shaw to DeCorliss Taylor a moment ago. And boy, we mentioned midway through that third quarter that Cameron Shaw getting accustomed to the game speed, getting accustomed to the game rhythm, and he's been getting some pass protection as of late, and he's looked solid back there at that quarterback spot.
Yeah, he's looking pretty good. That's why I say I think if he had more games under his belt, you know, he'd probably be a pretty good quarterback.
Well, how about Cameron Shaw, the backup quarterback tonight, with 245 passing yards with 2 touchdowns and 1 pick, 9 of 17.
Well,
Cameron thinks we've got a quarterback controversy going into next year.
I don't think that. I think there was 158 passing yards per game all season long. That's basically what North Garland has.
145 for North Garland per game this year.
Per game, right? So this just almost, it's going to almost double it. Pretty good. Pretty good. He's had a couple of mistakes, but pretty good passing.
I'm glad he was able to play this game, because if he wanted to play QB at the next level, he's at least got some film, doesn't he? Got some game tape to send off.
He put that ball right on the money right there. That was a good pass.
Was a good pass. He's done a great job tonight. Hey, much better than I think anybody could have expected out of it. 245 yards out of your backup quarterback. He's thrown 50% tonight. 53%.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That ball's live and picked up on a second hop. And then we see Sayway run into his own guy. See, that's stuff that you don't have to, you can't really work on that in practice, because you don't have guys running into each other in practice.
Not anymore. Not anymore. No.
5:36 to go in this ball game, 50-27. It's funny too. You know, Coach Perales, Jesse Perales, head coach for Naaman, had mentioned how, you know, we've had a lot of parity this year, as we see get a chance to look at Cameron Shaw. Shaw's got to be happy with the way things have gone tonight.
I think so too, yeah.
But Coach Perales says, hey, you look at this district and you've got a lot of parity. Makes it fun for everybody involved.
All the way to the last game.
Yes.
I mean, everybody, there's 3 teams that are 3-3, and it really will go to the very last game of the season to determine who's going to get that 4th spot.
Sayway breaking tackles, getting close to the 30. Pickup of 8. But you look at this district, and it seems like every team's got a really, really solid quarterback. You know, God's Power Nawahi, obviously, with
Who's
North
impressed
Garland.
me a lot, though, is Perales as a sophomore. And it's probably because they sat around and talked football at the dinner table.
Yes.
I mean, he really understands the offense, and he's got a good arm as well. So it's really impressive that what he's done as a sophomore. I mean, it's not easy, even when you're a senior, to go in at the speed. This is 9-6A football. These guys are big. There's a lot of guys that are strong and fast, and they're coming at you quick.
This is Kewan Martin Richard on the carry.
Now, they got a couple of backup guys coming in now and enjoying the game. Hard work does pay off. You get to get out there and play. Different quarterback.
Hard work pays off. And hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Chance Abel, sophomore, in there at quarterback now for Naaman. Against Naaman. But no, this district with some really good quarterbacks. Harrison Boyd, God's Power. Mirko Matos is really solid for South Garland, believe it or not. You know, you look at their record, they're 1-8, but Matos is a solid quarterback. A horse collar maybe turned him around. Sayway does a little dance at around the 47-yard line.
That referee was watching right at that, and I know that that's got to be one of the penalties. They don't allow that. Oh, okay, maybe he has something hanging out. No, they got him inside the jersey right there.
Got him on
That's definitely should have been a horse collar.
Gabe Harris, I think the guy that grabbed him, give him 7 on that play. Second down and 3.
Have the young guy toss one. Let's see what happens here.
Throw it deep.
Go for it.
Martin Richard.
Oh, he picked the first down up.
Across the 50. Has 6 more. Little RPO action. We like those guys. You like those guys that get down and run with a low pad level. It's hard to coach that.
Well, you know, if he's been running against the #1 defense out there at practice all year, he knows he better get low.
No question. You know, sometimes you line that chute up. That's the chute where you keep them low. They have no choice but to stay low. Otherwise, they bonk their head.
Yeah. He just about lost that one. He was able to grab it.
Able to bounce this one. This is Sayway. Close to a first down. They'll give him 10. 2:20 to go in this one.
Yeah, that'll do it right there. I mean, you get another first down there, and if North Garland doesn't use their timeouts.
You know what's funny? You look at we talked about the district standings a moment ago. You and I really haven't touched on this. Now, you realize that Wiley East has won the district championship. They were predicted to finish second to last in the district.
Yeah, that's what a great quarterback and it's a big offensive line will do for you. And, you know, they've really played good on defense as well. That's a good team.
Solid team out of the district. Obviously hope that all teams do well in the postseason.
Naaman Forest, you know, they've put up 507 yards total right now. They have really come on in this fourth quarter. I mean, they are really putting some points up and big, long runs.
That's 150 over their average. Ed Cunning, he is the real deal. I really like his style. Big number 10, who's not running it anymore. He's a 5'11", 215-pound senior. Isaiah Cunning, another 100-yard game, averaged 8 yards per tote tonight. This is
3 touchdowns.
3 touchdowns. This is Austria.
And these were some big, strong runs. He was having to run over people. It wasn't like he was just breaking way and running 40, 50 yards. Now, he did have a long 43-yarder, but most of his runs were in the middle and just powerhousing people over.
And that 43-yarder was one shy of his season high for a long run. He had 8 touchdowns coming in. Remember, Kingsley Bennett last year got over 1,000 yards. Cunning went over 1,000 after last game. But those two are really different. 2 very different runners.
Bennett was a small guy.
Yeah, he liked to bounce.
Just super fast.
Yeah, Cunning does it more in between the tackles. Sayway again with the carry on 3rd down and 4. He'll move the sticks, picking up 5, and that may do it.
You know, you got to tip your hat right there to the Raiders. They didn't give up. They played hard all the way through the game.
Yes.
And they just had a hard time overcoming that 0-19 first quarter.
The 50 points put up the most that they have scored in a game this year. They didn't score this many against South. 47 against the Titans.
Is this the first? Okay, they didn't punt it. But I was fixing to say, I think that might be the first punt we've seen all night.
Oh, we didn't. The second half did not see a punt. And these two teams will go into the final week of the regular season on opposite ends, as North Garland has now been ousted from postseason contention. Naaman holds on to the second place distinction. The only question is, will Wiley beat Saxe tomorrow to remain tied with Naaman going into the final week for that second spot? Well, what a fun game tonight, without question. This ball game was advertised, and we saw a good football game. Not the one that we thought we were going to see, but it was still really interesting.
Yeah, I really like the play of both teams, and good luck to Naaman Forest, you know.
Absolutely.
I think you go up in there and you're 5-2, you second place. Hope they get in there in the playoffs and do well.
I want to thank everyone for helping us out tonight. The entire GRS TV crew, including Dylan McPherson, Hayden Harding, Isabella Ramirez, our spotter tonight, Houston Darden. I want to thank Alan Horton and Homer Clayton, Larry Grimes, and John Cook. Our director, Kennedy McConnell, and our executive producer, Delbert Richardson. Bobby George, thank you so much. My name is Scott Garner. Until next time, final score again tonight from Williams Stadium in Garland, 50-27. The Rangers upend the Raiders of North Garland. Until next time, good evening, everyone from Williams. Good night, and God bless.